The first sample of our tech pouch is here. In this video, I'm gonna catch you up to speed on everything that's been happening with our first tech pouch, from the design to the sampling to everything that we're struggling with moving forward. And as always, if you want an even deeper look at the process of us designing products, you're gonna wanna sign up to the Fyro newsletter, which you can do with the first link below. But before I show you the actual product, let me just give you a little backstory in case it's your first time here. First up, I want to apologize. Normally we're a bit more structured as to how we present these Fyro Labs episodes. I wanted to do one for this tech pouch just about the actual design process, but things moved really fast, so I got to kind of put it all into one episode. So let me take you back a few months where we decided that we were going to make a tech pouch. We took a vote with the community, and the goal was to do like a self-standing desk caddy. But I kind of ended up changing my mind. Here's why. Although I do love a self-standing desk caddy, and there is room for us to do it at some point in time, right now the design language of Fyro is starting to become more and more clear. We're really starting to discover our DNA. And we got our 3 principles of keeping bags light, lush, and low key, and an emphasis on light. And a big old bricky tech pouch, it just didn't feel like it was in line with where Fyro's trying to go right now. And I also wanted a tech pouch that could better fit into our ecosystem. I'll explain what I'm talking about with that in just a second. So I'm shooting a Nomads Nation podcast episode with John from Unpacked, one of my favorite bag reviewers, and he talks about his favorite tech pouch, which is the Go Ruck Dop Kit. You got any other S tiers?
After that, believe it or not, I would say Dop Kit, Wire Dop. The Go Ruck Wire Dop.
And in that moment, we're like talking and I see the tech pouch and I'm like, that's exactly what I want to do for Fyro. So we switched gears at the last second. And I had this idea though, because I obviously didn't want to, steal the Go Ruck concept. I just liked something that was lighter and opened like a book. And that kind of made me realize all the different journal covers that I've used and different folios. And I had this concept in mind to fuse the two. So like an envelope opening style tech pouch, but mixing in some of that folio DNA. So I was heading to Vietnam in like 10 days. So I had to call up David, our designer, real fast. And I let him know, like, dude, I have this idea. Can you expedite some designs? And David was able to make it work. I don't have to give him that big of a design brief sometimes. I just kind of say a couple of things. He's like,
shut up, say no more, I've got it.
And he finished the designs right before I got to Vietnam. Now, David's drawings are always like, elite, but it's just the foundation, right? At the end of the day, it's not until we actually get in the studio and start getting our hands a little dirty with the Bag Me team that we actually start to get the product like more finalized and actually what it's going to be. And that always starts with the Bag Me team coming together. We got Luke, we got Fung, we got Mr. Quang, and all the sewers and everybody else on the team. And we sort of get a pretty grounded idea of where we want the product to go. And then that's where Mr. Quang just starts to work his magic. First, we start with a paper mock-up. To quote Luke, if it doesn't work as a paper mock-up, it's not gonna work as a fabric product. And that's why I love the paper mock-up phase so much, because having a product in your hand versus seeing a drawing are just so different. And something that might make sense on the drawing just doesn't check out when the product's actually in your hand, and maybe the other way around, right? It's just a crucial part of the process. So after the paper mock-up, we then went to the first fabric mock-up, and this did not work. Don't get me wrong, we were close. We had a proof of concept. We've got the folio style opening. You can see how it's a classic sort of zipper opening. Threw a couple pockets in there just to get a vibe, just for the overall functionality of the product. But here's why it didn't work, because I wanted to keep it light, but this was too light. When you got some heavy stuff in here, the pouch itself just ends up collapsing. Overall, I think this is an interesting concept, but it just didn't feel very confidence inspiring. It didn't have the right padding. It didn't give the right emotional cues I was looking for. It just kind of looks like a potato sack. So I told Luke, we have to add padding. And I had to say it with that kind of a stern voice, because Luke doesn't always like to add padding, and he fights me on padding. But he got it. The whole Bag Me team got it, that we needed to kind of test that out. Throw some foam in there. And that's what we did for the second fabric mock-up. And that's when the light went off and we're like, this is the right path. So you can see going from the first fabric mock-up to the second fabric mock-up, this is very nicely padded. Not super heavily, it's not quite a brick. You can see it still has a little bit of malleability to it and a little bit of give, but it gives it such a cleaner presentation while still having that folio style opening, which means, sorry little guy, your day might come later. We also tested around with some new organization, throwing a couple of exterior pockets on the outside of this zippered pocket, but it felt a little too clunky. And the reason is, you can see we got 1, 2, 3, 4 darts on both sides of the bag. And that gives both sides a significant amount of volume. which is nice. You can carry more stuff. But someone on the Bag Me team, it's probably Luke, said, let's try another version. But on the next version, we're gonna cut the volume on one side and keep it flat, and then keep the volume on the other side. Which leads us to the most up-to-date version that we have right here. And this is where I've been inspired to codename this product, from the Fyro Tech Pouch to the Fyro Tech Book. And as you can see, that's what we did. We kept the volume on one half, but then made it flat on the other half. And this gave it a lot of functional versatility, where it laid flat a lot better and just made it a little bit nicer to carry in your hands, like in folio mode. But also when it lays flat, because this side has some volume and darts, it actually still has a nice little self-standing presentation. And now the organization just makes more sense, where you put your bulky stuff in this pocket, right? Got my big old charger. Smaller, flatter items, Magic Mouse, passport or Fyro passport size notebook, right here as well. And God, look at how just freaking clean this thing looks. And I mean this, I've never been more in love with a Fyro product than this. It's nothing against the other products, right? I love all of my children equally. But this is now my favorite child, because I feel like we're accomplishing something here that is very Fyro. We call our aesthetic at Fyro Tech Classic, where I want to have heritage, classic style shapes and silhouettes and inspiration, but then bring it into the future. And this just so freaking clearly accomplishes that, where it's a very sleek, modern looking aesthetic, but with this classic sort of folio opening. Some notes too, zipper. We went with a copper colored zipper on the outside. I really like it. Some people on Bag Me liked it, some people didn't. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Tav, what do you think?
Color all the way.
He likes it. All right, cool. So Tav and I are aligned. Let me know what you guys think about the zipper in the comments below, because we're gonna talk about like the launch plan for this. So I need to get your guys' feedback to know how to launch. Another thing I'm not sure about is how crazy to go on the top handle. Currently it's very light, which keeps the product itself light, but it's missing that Fyro lushness. So I might wanna add some minimal extra fabrics on there just to give you that little dopamine rush every time you touch it. Like, that's a really big thing for us at Fyro. I don't do drugs anymore. I quit nicotine. Life is boring as an older man, so I need my bags to give me that dopamine rush that I miss sometimes. And then a big question will be just in regards to internal organization. I don't think there's gonna be much that we can do with this, but I think that we should take these external sleeve pockets right here and put them here. Because otherwise, there's just not enough organization. Right now, with the way this bag is made, is we have a big deep pocket and then two smaller pockets. So if we add two more on top, that gives you two more, 4, 5 total, 6 if you count the pen holder. I don't know, what do you guys think? You guys always help me in terms of pocket configuration, so let me know how you think it should be designed. We'll also have to figure out the actual fabrics that we're using. Should be noted, this is a new fabric on the outside. It looks like our typical 330D Kodra polycarbonate nylon, but this is the 160 version that we're testing out for our first time. And it's very light and very nice, but it's shinier. It kind of is a little garbage baggy, maybe, I don't know. Let me know your guys' thought on that. I think it looks good, but we're gonna have to test it out on the more standard Fyro fabric as well. And then also color options. Do we go with the copper zipper? Do we offer this in green? And the last note is, let me tell you guys the timeline that we're looking at moving forward. Because with how busy things are for the Citta backpack launch, this is probably not gonna go live until 2027. And I'm also thinking, since we got a little bit of extra time to let this project breathe, maybe it could be a good opportunity to do our first Fyro collab. So any bag reviewers out there that you guys would love to see, you know, collab with Fyro on this, let me know in the comments below. And the final note is, just look at how perfectly it fits into the Citta 25 liter. Like, this is how Fyro is just really starting to come together. So if you guys have any feedback whatsoever about our Codename Tech Book, let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you want a deeper insight into what's happening, not just with the Tech Book, but with all Fyro products as we design and develop them, then you're definitely gonna wanna sign up to the Fyro Insider newsletter. First link in the description below. And also, if you don't know about this guy, our soon to launch Citta backpack, I highly suggest checking it out. We just showed the golden sample to our YouTube community. And you can check that out with this video here. Questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Aaron, this is Fyro, and we'll catch you next time.